David Batstone, leader of the not-for-sale anti-human trafficking campaign, is in the country. He is trying to connect business leaders and celebrities to raise awareness of human trafficking. The campaign aims to recruit and educate international grassroots social movements that combat human trafficking and slavery. David joins us now. David, good morning. Welcome to Morning News Today. Now, how different is this campaign? I mean, we saw a lot of campaigns happening before the World Cup and even after the World Cup and during the World Cup, because that was the time that we said there's high security during that time. But how different is this one from the many that we've seen in our country so far?
Probably the key difference is that we're much more about actual engagement with trafficking rather than just awareness or education. So during the World Cup, for instance, one of our team members encountered a young group of Nigerian teenagers that had been brought to South Africa, forced to sell their bodies during the World Cup. We gather evidence, provide that to the local police, who have the authority to go in and raid a place, rescue those girls and put the traffickers in jail. So we're much more engaged in a practical way in arresting trafficking.
Very interesting though. Can we really deal with the issue of human trafficking? Where do we begin? Because it's vast. You look at rural areas, look at our porous borders, you look at people that running brothels, people trying to sneak people into the country illegally. It's a very wide network and syndicates that operate this. Where do we begin?
Yeah. Well, we really have to address it in a political justice way. So we have better laws and better enforcement. On an economic level, to make sure that every company, how they create a product, is sure that their supply chain is having people be free to work rather than forced to work. And there needs to be a cultural and moral shift. We need cricketers that every time they do a boundary shot, that there is tied to that some kind of pledge that says that's for kids to be free to play in the world today. So moral, cultural, political justice, and also economic.
How important is it to deal with our borders? Because this is one problem then. This is something that constantly comes up when dealing with human trafficking, especially in South Africa. You look at our surrounding countries and how our borders are being manned. It's a huge problem.
Well, it is, to make sure that there is no corruption in terms of the ways that people might be manipulated, even by people in uniform, to make sure they get justice, those who are most vulnerable. We track that, we document that, and then we work with national and local police to make sure that people get justice who normally may not get access to law enforcement.
You raised something quite interesting. You say your campaign is different. You speak to the social part of it. You speak to celebrities, you speak to politicians and so on and so forth. How does the program then work? How do you get them involved?
Well, really we use a lot of tools. We use social networking tools. If you can find us on the internet, you'll see even a map called slaverymap.org where you will find documented cases of trafficking that are in Cape Town or Johannesburg. We also work in tools that are free to work. You can get every product that you buy, you can see a grade for that product. Is it an A product that actually enhanced the lives of those people who made that chocolate bar or that shirt? Or do they get an F? Did it limit their options? Did it force them to work? Was slave labor engaged in that product? Then you as a consumer can enhance people's lives by the way you purchase things.
Well, David, congratulations on the work that you're doing, and I hope that your message spreads far and wide so that we can nip this in the bud, right?
Well, thanks for doing journalism that really brings about change. Really appreciate that.
Thank you very much. That was David Batstone, leader of the not-for-sale anti-human trafficking campaign.
Let's bring you up to speed with stories making headlines on the channel.